morning and welcome to Lntv News Live. News Live is a production of the television department here at the Liberia Broadcasting System, and I'm Amanda Yasisale anchoring this morning edition of the program. And these are the top stories we are following this morning. Chief Justice Francis Kopor dismisses and denied motion to recuse himself from ongoing impeachment trial. 45 buses are part of the Indian grant to Liberia are expected in Liberia next month. In a bid to cement a national reconciliation, President George Weah commits his government to promote national healing. And away from home, a court in Tanzania sentences a prominent Chinese business woman for 15 years in prison. Those are the headlines. Let's take a short break to be right back. Welcome back to the program. Chief Justice Francis Kopor has dismissed and denied motion to recuse himself from the ongoing impeachment trial of Associate Justice Kabine Janin. Reading the final ruling Tuesday at the joint chambers of the National Legislature, Chief Justice Kopor argued that the petitioners for his recusal did not establish clear legal backings for his recusal.
As I've said time and again, it is not by my own doing, but by the dictates of the Constitution of Liberia that I should preside over this impeachment proceeding. The Constitution does not say who presides over impeachment proceedings involving the President, Vice President, or an Associate Justice in the absence of the Chief Justice, or when the Chief Justice is incapacitated or disqualified. Thus, as I see it, for me to recuse myself from performing the constitutional duty of presiding over an impeachment proceeding as the movement has requested of me, the movement must clearly establish legal and or factual grounds that partake of conflict of interest that will work to the injury of the movement by my presiding over the impeachment proceeding. The question then is, has the movement established any legal and or factual grounds for me not to preside over this impeachment proceeding? The answer to me is no. The movement has not established that I have an interest in the impeachment trial or that I am related to any of the parties in the case. The movement has only contended that I participated in and signed a judgment in the consent case along with 3 other justices. Therefore, I am, quote, conflicted that if I deviated from the general rule in the consent case, a fair and impartial proceeding would not be conducted when I preside over this impeachment trial involving him. I hold that I am not conflicted and I do not or did not deviate from the law in the consent case to warrant my recusal from presiding over this impeachment proceeding. Based on all that I have said, and given the circumstance of this motion to recuse, I hold that the movement has not established any legal and or factual ground for me to recuse myself. The motion to recuse is therefore denied and dismissed, and it is hereby so ordered.
The Liberian Chief Justice also said the Supreme Court had also dismissed a previous motion for the recusal of Associate Justice Joseph Nangwe in the Kabine Janin impeachment trial.
The movement has made reference to the case Kabine M. Janin versus the House of Representatives decided November 30, 2018 during the October term of the Supreme Court, in which I delivered the majority opinion which passed on the issue of recusal. In that prohibition case filed by Justice Janin, one of counsel for Justice Janin requested Mr. Justice Joseph N. Nangwe, who had just been appointed told the Supreme Court bench to recuse himself from the case. The counsel contended that since Justice Weah was a member of the House of Senate when the petition for the writ of prohibition was issued out of the Supreme Court to the House of Representatives, and since the members of the House of Representatives and the House of Senate are, quote, colleagues, unquote, and Justice Weah was a member of the National Legislature of the Republic of Liberia at the time, the petitioner reasonably believed, by logic and inference, that His Honor Justice Weah may have participated in discussions and participated in the impeachment proceeding while serving in the House of Senate, unquote. The Supreme Court denied a motion to recuse. The court heard that for a justice to recuse himself from the hearing and determination of the case, there must be a showing that a justice will not be fair and impartial due to vested interest in the case, or an act done, or a position taken that will work prejudice to a party.
Liberian Chief Justice Francis Kopo. Liberian President George Weah says his government is committed to cementing reconciliation with Liberians in the bid to promote a national healing. Speaking in a BBC interview on Tuesday, President Weah reiterated his government's commitment to prosecute anyone found guilty in the alleged $16 billion Liberian dollars saga.
Some did, I did, and declared the asset. You know, it's important that we declare our assets, most especially me.
But yours aren't published publicly, are they?
But that's my privacy. You know what I'm saying? I got kids to protect. I have my family to protect. So I give them access to all my banks, and they have to now protect me.
What about the rest of your ministers that haven't?
Most of them declare, and I hope that they all will declare.
Will you make them declare if they don't declare?
To make them declare? No, I mean, I inform them that they need to declare because it's prudent to do so. They know that there's law, we must abide by the law.
What about these missing $105 million worth of government money? It just disappeared last year inexplicably. Have you yet found out what's happened to it?
What we're able to do is to bring in international partners and our local partners to work together. We are still waiting for the final results, and then when that results come in, we'll be able to let the public know what happened to that missing money.
It's an awful lot of money to go missing, isn't it?
No, but you know, sometimes you got to have facts. We are looking for the facts. If anyone is culpable, definitely they'll face the full weight of the law.
This nation went through 14 awful years of war, which ended in 2003. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission recommended the establishment of a war crimes tribunal, but so far one hasn't been set up. Why?
Well, that's a good question. Why? People are hurt. There are people that have the scar on them. Some people are angry. We have to sit with them and let them go through the tough time and talk about how we can rehabilitate them. They're calling for a war crime court. I'm not ruling anything here, but I think we should start working on how we can cement our relationship with our own people and build our country.
At the same time, President Weah named the pavement of roads in Claratown as one of his greatest achievements as President of the Republic of Liberia.
For me, first of all, it's giving the community that I went so many years a paved road. To see Claratown is one of the best achievements because I lived that life. To see that I have a school where I used to live, they have a free university to go to. This is what we are here for, me and my government.
You've got a very difficult job here. I was in one of the food markets in Monrovia, and a woman said to me, rice is now so expensive, I can't afford to buy it anymore. And I feel that by now prices should have come down because I voted for you.
I'm not a financial expert. What I try to do is to speak to those that import rice. And I spoke to them that the rice is expensive, so you need to lower your price. Then what we did was to bring in our own rice and then make it affordable for the market. But again, they found reason to keep their prices where it is.
What about unemployment? Because that's something else you inherited. This country has an average age of around 18 years old. It's a very young population here, isn't it? And having young people out of work in such large numbers is a worry, isn't it?
It's worrisome, but we want to create employment through agriculture, and we're working towards that. If you look at our index, you'll see that in 1 year, we have done so much. We employ more than 5,000 to 7,000 people, and also we're doing our best.
Presumably you also need investment on quite a big scale, and yet I'm told that since the last election, when many big investors pulled out, not a single large investor has come back.
During Ebola, most investors left. We are now Ebola-free country. You can see that investors are all coming back, but people got scared. So now we need to encourage the people to come back.
President Weah describing the pavement of the Clarendon Road as one of his greatest achievements in his leadership. And earlier you heard the president also making strong statement surrounding the missing 16 billion Liberian dollars. Well, the maiden edition of the Speakers Series will today, Wednesday, take place in the country. The program, organized by the Institute of Constitutional Research, Policy and Strategic Development, will bring together authors, past and current government officials to discuss the importance of research, publication, and the dissemination of quality information intended to engender quality exchange of views.
Having the maiden edition of our Speaker Series. The Speaker Series is intended to bring to the core research, publication, dissemination of information, and to engender quality exchange of views by professionals in this country. Not necessarily just Liberian professionals, but our partners and counterparts. Tomorrow, maiden edition is very critical to us. The speaker for that edition is Dr. Amos C. Sawyer, the interim president of our interim government of national unity, who is also an author, Professor Emeritus. Dr. Sawyer will be speaking on the topic of research, publication, and the dissemination of information in 21st century Liberia, an integral part of our national development. This maiden edition will bring together a core of very high quality professionals, as well as those who are making policies in our country. We have invited these individuals so that they can also help to strengthen the work we're doing.
Meanwhile, Councillor Bible has acknowledged that Liberia has professionals, especially young people who he believes can make a great change for the betterment of the country.
This country has professionals, and this country has potential, especially in the young people. We believe that the young people can change our country for the better. And the way we can do that is to provide them opportunity for education, opportunity for knowledge, opportunity for exposure. And this is what we are doing at the ICRPST. There is no way that a country that remains illiterate can develop as other countries are developing. We believe that our country will not remain illiterate. One of the things that we've done is to partner with institutions such as the Center for Policy Studies. That institution is a think tank, and it has been doing very well.
Jalababu is the executive director of the research group, and former interim president Dr. Amos Sawyer is expected to serve as keynote speaker during today's program. Public Works Minister Mambutu Vlanyimpan says Liberia's relationship with the World Bank is at its highest peak, evidence of its ongoing assistance to national development in Liberia. According to him, there is substantive development taking place under this government as a result of the numerous assistance and contribution from the World Bank. He named the road project from Ganta to Zwedru and to Kelepo as one of the World Bank's financing assistance to Liberia.
Our relationship, and I'll say our relationship, I'm talking about the relationship of the government with the World Bank is at its highest peak. And I'm not just saying it because I want to use words, but because of the substantive development that is taking place with assistance from the World Bank. As we speak, the road from Ganta to Zwedru, beyond Zwedru to Kilipo, that I was just telling you about, the financing is being organized by the World Bank. And this is a significant development. That is a road that spans over 225 kilometers. The construction of that has been sealed.
How do you interpret it? It's being organized.
Oh, when I say it's being organized, there's of course the World Bank will guarantee funding for us to carry out the construction. The World Bank will also mobilize funding from other institutions to come on. But with the involvement of the World Bank, these institutions feel confident, that they can put their money there and it will be utilized for the intended purpose. So the World Bank is taking the lead. And once the World Bank is taking the lead, other financing institutions, other bilateral friends will join in. And not only that, there was a World Bank mission here recently. We are now working with that mission to be able to fund the coastal corridor. And this is significant. We have not concluded those arrangements yet, but we are on the way. Studies are being organized because we already have feasibility studies, so the World Bank has come in and said, look, we can help to mobilize resources. Why is the World Bank saying so? It's because of the confidence that the World Bank has in this administration.
Public Works Minister Mombutu Yimpan. In case you're just joining us, this is a reminder that you're viewing Lntv News Live, 30 minutes production of the television department here at the Liberia Broadcasting System. And these are the top stories we've been following this morning. Chief Justice Francis Kopo dismisses and denied motion to recuse himself from ongoing impeachment trial. 45 bosses as part of the Indian grant to Liberia are expected in the country soon. In a bid to cement a national reconciliation, President Weah commits his government to promote national healing. And away from home, a court in Tanzania sentences a prominent Chinese businesswoman to 15 years in prison. Let's take a short break to be right back. Welcome back to the program, and I'm Amanda Yassi-Sale anchoring this morning edition of the program. The managing director of the National Transit Authority, Herbie Macaulay, has disclosed that about 45 new buses are expected in the country next month. The buses are part of a grant agreement from the Indian government to Liberia. According to the NTA head, the buses, when arrived, will help reduce the current transportation problems facing the country. He pledged the authorities' commitment to providing an effective, efficient, and affordable transport services to the public.
This year, we will be getting the new buses we'll be anticipating. We're hoping to get 45 buses into the country. That's going to be coming in as a grant. And the significance of NTA is that we are here to give affordable, efficient and effective transport to the people of this country. Because a lot of our customers are the common people who make $100 a day, who makes $50 a day, and they cannot afford, the huge hike in prices of the fare. So that's where we at NTA, going to be very, very helpful to help the masses, in giving them a better price compared to our private competitors.
You were talking about grants. What grants are you actually talking about?
The 45 buses are going to be grant from the Indian government.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So when are you hoping that the buses will be here?
We're anticipating that the first batch of the 45 buses will be here in March, the end of March.
Mr. Macaulay also says plans are already in the making to help train mechanists on how to maintain the buses upon their arrival to the country. He said the NTA places premium on capacity development, which he added is key to the upliftment of the institution.
Know that with our capacity development, this entity cannot move forward. So we've been very, we take that a very hard value in making sure that we have every mechanism in place before the buses comes. And that has to do with having the mechanics trained, to be able to maintain the buses, making sure our drivers are trained in order to be able to drive the buses, without having, accidents. So a lot of other things, and right now we're working on improving our revenue generating capacity, because that's very important for NTA, to make sure our generating capacity is efficient and effective.
Herbie Ticom Blar Macaulay is the managing director of the National Transit Authority. Independent National Commission on Human Rights, acting chairman Bartholomew Carley, wants participants at a two-day working session to develop a plan that will reflect on the specifics of human rights. Reverend Carley spoke Tuesday in Monrovia at a two-day working session with the Independent National Commission on Human Rights and civil society organizations on their engagement with government.
It is our anticipation from the Commission that our access to hands-on will be focused, and that this will be community-owned process, national-owned process that will be supported by the partners of our commitment, so that we deliver best practices to the people of this country. We hope all of us, not just at government, but also at the international partners and CSO, that we will show commitment and do what is right without bias, without fear or favor, and so that people's rights are protected and promoted. On that, I want to say welcome to all of us.
Also speaking were the Deputy Country Director in the Office of the United Nations High Commission for Human Rights, Satus Dawson, and a CSO member, Adam Dempster.
We want to thank the Office of the High Commission for Human Rights for this initiative that we have organized. We want to also appreciate the ICHR, the Board of Commissioners, for the level of interaction we have all the time, and with the intent that this important 2 days consultation will enable us to draw between the line a common interest that our collaboration will be able to help promote, protect human rights in Liberia. Everyone of us in this room can testify to the extent of the kind of work we've been doing as human rights committee.
Deputy Country Director of the Office of the United Nations High Commission for Human Rights. That's Adama Dempster and not Satus Dawson. The Monrovia City Corporation Tuesday released preliminary report on an ongoing enumeration process in Montserrat County. The report was released by Monrovia City Mayor Jefferson Koji at a news conference in the city.
A few months ago, we were here in the same hall presenting to you that we have contracted through a competitive process a local company called the ATS All Terrain Management. It was a legal project where a bid was being given and they were very successful. They proved that they got the capacity to conduct the tax that we wanted. And we went through the process. PPCC were able to certify a no objection to them. And on the basis of that, they commenced their tax given to them. And like we said to you, Monrovia is currently situated within 10 districts. So today we are here. They have completed 4 districts, which constitute 36,000 structure. So, and subsequently, they will be completing the remaining 6 districts. They are the verge of completion, but because of the the importance and the urgency of what we have given them, we thought it was important to brief the public as we make achievement along the way side. So today we are here to commend the Liberian people for your cooperation. First, when we started, there was an attempt to deceive our people, but since we spoke to them, the people on the field, specifically working for all terrain management, they have reported to us. Since our engagement to the public has been very receptive.
Monrovia City Mayor Jefferson Koji. A Liberian residing in the United States of America, Reverend Weah is calling on President Weah to remain focused and do the work of the country void of criticism. According to him, criticisms are good and intended to help strengthen any nation. As such, he encouraged the Liberian leader to consider criticism as a tool to challenge him to do more for the Liberian people. He said Dr. Weah is a born leader and he has no doubt that with God's guardians, he can deliver the necessary goods for the country. Speaking in an Lntv interview, Reverend Dumont committed the diaspora support in helping to develop their mother's land.
Like the piece that I wrote some time ago on Facebook regarding President George Weah during the election, and as I followed the election from the United States of America in Delaware, there were days even prior to that time I would argue with friends and some other guys who did doubt you. But I did believe in you, we did believe in you, we did believe, because we saw it. I grew up seeing the ability and your capacity to lead. You are a natural born leader. And I just want you to take heart. Do those things, as I wrote in the piece on Facebook, do those things that you remember in your heart to do when we were young boys walking in the streets of Gibraltar, Claratown. And those things that you wanted for your nation, those things that were in your heart, to the best of your ability, do those things. And I tell you, God will help you to fulfill it. There will be people that will be able to support you. In the diaspora, we will always be a voice to advocate for you, to pray for you. There is a silent majority that is out there who are praying for you and hoping for you. And as you ascend into your position, into your presidency, and progress steadily, God will give you provisions and opportunities to extend your nation. There will be distractors, But those distractors are meant to continuously make you forward, strong. And you know who you are. You are a strong guy. In the midst of adversity, you always kept the focus. It's my prayer that you will keep the focus, that you will continue to love people from that deep inner feeling that you had for your nation.
And away from home, reports say a Tanzania court has sentenced Yang Feglan, a prominent Chinese businesswoman called the Ivory Queen, to 15 years in jail. Madame Feglan has been accused of leading one of Africa's biggest ivory smuggling rings, illegally exporting more than 2.5 million United States dollars worth of elephant tusk to East Africa. But the charges, the BBC says, she has since denied. Madame Feglan was arrested after a high-speed car chase in October 2015 and charged with ivory smuggling between 2000 and 2014. Investigators say she was a key link between poachers in East Africa and buyers in China for more than a decade. Well, that's how we like to climax this morning edition of the program, LNTV News Live. But just before we go, these are the top stories we've been following. Chief Justice Francis Koppa dismisses and denied a motion to recuse himself from ongoing impeachment trial. 45 bosses as part of the Indian grant to Liberia are expected in the country soon. In a bid to cement a national reconciliation, President Weah commits his government to promote national healing. And away from home, a court in Tanzania sentences a prominent Chinese businesswoman to 15 years in prison. Well, on behalf of the entire team here, thank you so much for being with us this morning. My name is Amanda Yassi Saleh, and I anchored this morning edition of the program. Do have a pleasant working day.